Hello guys from my hotel room in Newcastle upon Tyne. I've come up here to try the Tyne and Weir Metro. Now I've been to Newcastle quite a few times, but I've never ever been on the metro system. I believe if I can get a day rover, then I can go on both lines. There's like a green line and a yellow line. I can get on the Shields ferry that takes you across the Tyne. I can go on some kind of rail line. I'm not quite sure about that one yet, but we'll find out as we go. And of course I can go on the buses. So yeah, plan is to try out all four forms of transport, see where I end up, and just have a great day of it really. Why don't you come with me? I'll catch you at the first of our stations, which is going to be the airport metro station. I'll see you in a bit. I was staying at the Newcastle Airport Premier Inn, which is only 5 minutes from the terminal building if you know where you're going. There's a cut through here you can take which saves you wandering around the surrounding roads in the darkness if you get here late. And no prizes for guessing who was doing that last night. Now I hadn't been to this airport before, so I wasn't really sure of the layout. The metro station here is obviously intended for arriving and departing passengers. You can see the walkway here leading down to the platforms, but there is no access from outside the terminal. So inside I went, and yeah, it's very easy to find with the large M for Metro sign above the doors here next to the Europe card desk. Down the walkway is where you will find the ticket machines. There were no staff available at the time of my visit, although I had heard that the Metro itself has lots of CCTV, and they must closely monitor this because I've heard reports of people being shouted at through the speakers for filming on the platforms. More on that a little bit later. Right, so yeah, the station and the ticket machine, and it looks like there's a bit of a mixture of, it's like a kind of a zone-based ticketing system, and what I'm after is a day rover, which should be £6.80, so let's see how we go. Okay, touch to begin, and I think what's that one there? Should we try that one first? Yeah, that's £6.80, isn't it? That must be the one. Well, I think it's got to be the one, hasn't it? So let's buy on that. TNE Day Saver. Come on, I'm going to pay by a debit card. No, that doesn't. So what's up here? Please pay. Okay, well, maybe it just says present card there. So. Okay, well, what do we get in there? I think I probably just scanned it, to be honest. Okay, you don't want to see my pin, do you? I haven't got any money anyway. Kind of useful, it tells you where all the stations are and which they're. Right, it's doing something. I need a receipt. And there's my ticket. Okay, there's my receipt. I think we are ready to go in a very quiet station, so yeah, let's see how we go. The barriers were open, so no need to use my ticket here, and it was a short walk down to the platforms to await the next train. British Airways shuttle back down to Heathrow. It might have been the aircraft I was on last night actually when I came up here. Delayed flight, got here an hour late in the end, but it was alright because as you saw the hotel is pretty much right next to the airport, and if I actually knew the way, which I do now, then 3 minutes, something like that to the Premier Inn. Absolutely great. Right, so just waiting for a train. It's a Sunday morning, so And what do you think? It looks like trains are every 15 minutes or so, and which is fine for a Sunday, isn't it? Quite a few people got off the last train. Obviously, if you get into the airport, this is a really handy way of doing it. Terminal is just there behind these bushes.
Yeah, I just missed the last train as I was making my way down the walkway, but as one more morning flight departed from runway 25, another train arrived, known as a metro car apparently, and if you recall, we're at the far end of the green line here, and this train will travel the length of the line all the way down to South Hulton, the other side of Sunderland. Inside, the cars are laid out with a mixture of lateral and forward rear facing seating, grab rails and hanging straps for standing passengers. And now this is the really exciting bit, right? A double seat is right at the front next to the cab, which will afford uninterrupted views of the tracks ahead. And looking back from this viewpoint, there is space for wheelchairs by one of the doors here, and useful network maps above the doors, which you would expect. Our driver changes ends and enters the cab through the passenger area. We get the green light from the signal and we're off. I don't know why there is a sign here saying that the front seat is out of view, so maybe this was an issue with this specific train. It wasn't really anything I saw again during the day. But I thought I'd better behave though at this point and sit one seat behind.
Right, so yeah, we are on our way. It's quite a nice little train this, isn't it? Because you can get to sit at the front and have some lovely views out of the front window there. Although the actual front seat is out of use, according to the sign, I'm not sure why. But it's pretty cool, isn't it? And there are not many trains around these days, not in the UK anyway, where you can sit near the front. It reminds me a bit of the DLR. But obviously a lot more rural at this point in the journey anyway.
And yeah, lots of open fields and countryside. This is the Tyne Metro at this point on the map. Electrified, double track as you can see, and most of the stations in this area seem to be located adjacent to level crossings, of which there were lots. Just before South Gosforth, where the airport branch joins the northern leg of the North Tyneside Loop, we have the Metro's original depot. Opened in 1923 by the London and North Eastern Railway, the depot was inherited when the Metro itself opened back in 1980. We also have the headquarters of the Tyne Passenger Transport Executive, more easily known as Nexus, and at South Gosforth station itself, the control centre for the entire network. Shortly after this we reached Jesmond, and from there it's the blackness of the city centre tunnels, where I was making my first stop of the day at Monument Station.
Right, yes, I just got off at Monument, which seems to be kind of the major intersection between the green and yellow lines. I got off here because I've just got to drop a bag at my hotel, save carrying it around all day. So, yeah, and I guess I'm pretty much right in the centre of the city now. Let's get to the exit and find out. Yes, a monument. Well, that must have been the monument there. I could do with a map actually down at the concourse level, just to tell you which exits are which, and where you come out, so that I can find my hotel a little bit easier, or anything else that you're looking for, of course. Anyway, Eldon Square just over there. So yeah, let's go and have a look around.
Well, I didn't hang around in the city centre too long. I mean, that could wait until later. Now, this was all about maximising my day ticket, the TNE Day Saver. At £6.80, it would give me unlimited travel on all the buses in County Durham, Northumberland and Tyne and Wear, the Tyne and Wear Metro obviously, the Shields Ferry, which was an interesting one, and northern train services between Sunderland and Blaydon. I wanted to travel on all these services, especially the ferry, but the challenge for me was being able to do it in an efficient way. But anyway, I decided to try my luck and I headed back down on the Green Line to Sunderland, where I could hopefully catch the northern train service across to Blaydon and tick this one off my list, so to speak. Now, this was one of my favourite parts of the network. After emerging from the city tunnels, you're pretty much straight onto the Queen Elizabeth II Bridge, opened in 1981, which carries the metro across the Tyne 75 feet below, and then you're back into the tunnels on the other side. Fantastic. We're close to Sunderland now, as any football fan will tell you from the name of this station, and also the red and white striped design. And Newcastle do something similar at St James's Park, which we'll see a little bit later on. St Peter's is the penultimate station before Sunderland, which is just a short hop across the River Wear here by means of the railway bridge that runs parallel to the Wearmouth Bridge on our left, rebuilt in 1927 with this impressive steel arch construction.
Right guys, Sunderland, and yeah, so I want to catch the train up to Blaydon, or at least Cheweth, but there isn't one for another 50 minutes. So yeah, I think at this stage, because it's coming up to 12:40 in the PM, it's time for some lunch and go and grab a coffee, I think.
Although the main concourse at Sunderland was light and airy, platform level really is a dark and dingy affair. I walked back towards the bridges to watch both a metro car and a Class 156 traversing the railway bridge back towards the station.
Okay, so I am back down at Sunderland railway station, metro station, a bit of both really. It's a funny one because I'm on platform 4, that's where my northern train is leaving for Blaydon, and then what we've got down there is platform 3. Now the metro, if you're going back to the airport on the Green Line, you want the platform 3 there. If you're heading to South Hilton, then it's platform 2, which is just here. I'm just trying to make sure I got that right. Platform 2, and then the northern trains again on platform 1, which are heading kind of that way towards the other side of Sunderland. So yeah, interesting, but obviously the two platforms in their entirety are used by both the Tyne and Wear Metro and Northern trains, or any other trains that want to pass through as well. Yeah, anyway, it's about 10 minutes to wait, and then I'll be jumping on the train up to Blaydon.
And it's not just Northern and the Metro that stop here either. I discovered later that Sunderland is one of only 2 stations in the United Kingdom where light and heavy rail services use the same platforms. And the other one is Rotherham Central, if you're interested. And after the Grand Central service from King's Cross had departed, a 4-car Class 158 showed up. I boarded what was a fairly quiet train, and soon after we were heading back across the River Wear, embarking on the 38-minute journey which would take me over to Blaydon via Newcastle. This was a very standard Northern trains interior, which I tend to find quite comfortable all in all. It was nice to be able to use the USB charging facilities on board. As you may have gathered, there is no such provision on the Metro, nor is there any Wi-Fi or toilet facilities. Tickets were checked on this train, and the guard confirmed that my TNE day pass was okay after inquiring as to where I was heading. It was also nice, especially on a day like today, to be able to take in the views of the Tyne Bridge as we crossed the river once more, this time on the High Level Bridge, opened in 1849 to carry road and rail traffic over the river. The trains are on the top and road vehicles underneath. We then pass Newcastle's Castle on our right before entering into Central Station on platform 7.
And I just said no. That must be horrendous.
Out and across the river once more, there will be a quiz question at the end of this video to see if you can work out how many times I did this. Well, this time it's the King Edward VII Bridge. We arrived at Blaydon bang on time, where my train then departs on its way right across the country to Carlisle. And if you want to see a video I made of that route, then check out the link on the screen here now. Right, nice ride on the Class 158 there, and I am heading over the road to catch a bus. That's the plan anyway. So yeah, come with me. We'll see what lies in store for us next. Blaydon is of course immortalised in the traditional song Blaydon Races, written and performed by local musician George Geordie Ridley in 1862. Right guys, so yeah, this is Blaydon bus station, presumably sandwiched between McDonald's, Domino's, Subway, Costa and a church. Now, I think most of the number 10 buses, 10A, 10B, 10 itself, will get me back into Newcastle city centre and Eldon Square. So, and there's quite a few people waiting at stand C. So I'm going to head over there, I see what turns up and just jump on one of those, I think. Well, and nothing turned up, and not for Newcastle anyway. Though there were plenty of services, even on a Sunday here, according to the timetables. Just lots and lots of delays, it seemed. Well guys, I am still here at Blaydon bloody bus station. Yeah, the buses, they are not great. They are all delayed by not just like 1 or 2 minutes, but like half an hour, some of them. I don't know why, but yeah, nothing much has turned up heading into the city centre for probably a good half an hour or so now. So I don't know why, whether that's normal or what, but yeah, it's the one part of the day that I'm just like kind of wishing I hadn't bothered with. But I wanted to try the buses anyway. Just hope that the one I'm waiting for, which is also delayed, turns up in the next few minutes. It's supposed to, but yeah, it's anyone's guess at the moment. Eventually, guess what? About 3 turned up pretty much all the same time. I opted for the number 12 service, an ADL Enviro 200 MMC operated by Go North East, which would only take about 10 minutes to get back into Newcastle city centre. But yeah, I must admit, coming out to Blaydon for the sake of riding the train and taking the bus was a bit of a time-consuming low point, to be honest. I mean, the bus was fine, nice enough inside, and also it had USB charging, you'll notice, but yeah, it cost me over an hour of travel time just hanging around the bus station, let alone actually getting there and back. And okay, it was part of the challenge this time. I wanted to show you guys everything that you could do with your day pass, but yeah, in future, and no offence to Sunderland here, but I would probably just focus on the Newcastle area and also the coast. Yeah, that's probably not a great idea to take the bus. They all seem to be delayed for some reason, and you know, when I was actually on the bus, it was only like a 10-minute journey from Blaydon over to the central station stop. So I'm going to head towards there now and catch another metro train, because what I think is probably the jewel in the crown of today's adventures is coming up shortly. So yeah, let's head down to the main Newcastle station now. Yes, Newcastle Central Station certainly is an impressive building, although the metro station I thought was a little bit hidden away somewhat. You seem to have to go inside the station, and then the entrance was around to your left and down the stairs to the platforms. Well, it was the yellow line this time anyway, and thankfully it didn't take long to wait for a train which would take me all the way to South Shields Metro Station, the terminus for this part of the line, and again south of the river. And as we approach the station, notice that the 2 lines merge into single track, and we just have the one platform here to our right. There were a couple of security guys on the train behind me, and some police on the platform too. So yeah, I thought it best to be a little bit discreet with the filming at this point.
Right then guys, South Shields Metro Station, the end of the yellow line, depending on which direction you're going of course. And I'm heading to the river, which is just down there. Guess what? There's a ferry coming up. Come on.
It's a 10-minute half-mile walk from the metro to the ferry terminal. It takes less time to cross the river.
Right then guys, the Shields ferry, and guess what? It is just leaving. I'll tell you what, I've been really unlucky with timings today. I don't know what I'm going to do in South Shields for the next however long it takes to go over there and come back. Shouldn't take long, should it? Anyway, yeah, the fantastic DFDS ferry there that goes down to Amsterdam. And yeah, I'm going to be travelling on that. I've got one of these mini cruise things set up for about a month or so's time. So I'm really looking forward to it. I've never been on it before, so I hope you can stick with the channel to watch that video when it comes out. Yeah, in the meantime, right, what am I going to do now? So yeah, have a look around South Shields for a bit, I suppose, and wait for the ferry to come back. So yeah, we'll see how long it takes. I'll catch you in a bit.
The DFDS Princess Seaways is the ship here, and its departure from port meant that our ferry had to wait until she had passed before it could make its way across the river to pick us up. There are two vessels currently in service on this route between South Shields and North Shields, the Spirit of the Tyne and the older Pride of the Tyne. It was the latter that I had the pleasure of sailing on today. A pedestrian only, you can also take your bike on, that's absolutely no problem. And the ferry docks sideways. I'm not sure if that's the correct technical term or not. Then it lowers a ramp against the dock, and the passengers disembark, and then we're allowed on.
Right, here we go. Yeah. Shields ferry.
The tickets are purchased or inspected by the crew on board, and then you're free to roam both passenger decks, the inside area here, and also the upper outside deck via the external stairways.
Back in my element, I'm just heading out to the front of the ship, ferry. Let's go upstairs.
Yeah, pretty quiet on this crossing. There's plenty of seating both inside and out, and I guess wherever you choose to sit depends very much on the weather, doesn't it? But it wasn't long before we were ready to depart, and I just had enough time to look around the ferry before settling down on the outside deck to enjoy the views.
The Pride of the Tyne, that was pretty good, wasn't it, that? And don't forget, it's all included in the price of your rover ticket. So I guess you can go forward and backwards and forwards across the river all day if you wanted to. Right, anyway, I am heading to the nearest metro station, which I don't know what that is yet, but I'm sure it's only up the road here. I'm going to head into my hotel and just chill out for a bit, because this evening I'm going to take you to the seaside. We're going to head out to Tyne, and we're also going to head out to Whitley Bay. So yeah, just going to chill out for a bit and I'll catch you a little bit later on.
Okay, so the nearest metro station, signposted from the ferry, is unsurprisingly North Shields, on the yellow line again. I made my way down the steps and waited for the next metro car to take me back into the city. After a brief rest, I was ready to head out once more, this time from St James's, which, as you can see, is the nearest metro station to Newcastle United's ground of the same name, almost. And if I don't add the park bit on the end, I will get comments about it, believe me. And I've never been inside the ground, but I have been to the one in Exeter, which is almost as impressive.
So plan this evening is we are there, St James, and we're going to head back along the yellow line. I'd like to go to Tyne, but I'm not sure I'm going to have time. Whitley Bay definitely, because I need to get something to eat. Yeah, it's going to be a flying visit, to be honest, but we'll see how we go anyway.
Yeah, so it was really quiet down here on platform 1, almost eerily so, as my next metro car came into view. And no problems at all getting a front seat on this journey. Most other passengers would join us at Monument and Manners. Now between Manners and Byker we reach the surface and head east, crossing the Wallsend, Burn and surrounding parkland on this superb viaduct here. Have you noticed, by the way, that all speed limits are in kilometres an hour? Does anybody know why? Well, I had plenty of time to reflect on the day as we travelled towards the coast, and in my opinion, the metro system really is a tremendous asset to the region. I mean, it carries around 30 million passengers a year along its 48-mile network and 60 stations, so yeah, it's well used, isn't it? And I didn't realise this, but the initial network between Haymarket and Tynemouth, well, it had only been open since 1980, when other extensions have followed over the years, with it finally reaching Sunderland in 2002. But yeah, I thought the whole thing had been around a lot longer than that. And presently there are 87 metro cards in use, and they are looking a bit dated these days, and yeah, the ride quality wasn't really the greatest, but I believe they are due to be replaced with new Class 555 light rail trains in the near future. And if you have the latest info on this, then yeah, please let me know in the comments below. All I would say is I hope they keep the front window views. And lastly, in terms of price, well, yeah, the TNE Day Saver at £6.80, it is an absolute bargain. I mean, you've seen the sorts of things I've been able to do today, and you cannot go wrong for this price. I must admit, if I lived up here, I'd be on it all the time. We reached Tynemouth with its glorious platform canopies. I wish I'd have had time to alight here and film a bit of the station, but yeah, at least I've saved it for another day. And talking about filming, well, yeah, I alluded to it earlier on, but after I got back from this trip, I read all sorts of stuff on social media about having to get permission for large projects. I wasn't aware of this at the time, to be honest, and yeah, I never had any hassle, but I'd love to know if anyone has. A cleverly worded tweet too. You can speak to us first, rather than you must speak to us. And how many times did I cross the River Tyne? I reckon it was 6, including the ferry. Now on to Whitley Bay next, which didn't look quite so appealing at platform level. I watched the train depart, and then it was a quick walk over the footbridge leading to the station frontage with its dominant clock tower here. It could do with a bit of weeding, yeah, but overall it was a lovely station, which is obviously undergoing some improvements at the time of my visit.
Right then guys, Whitley Bay, and yeah, I've made it all the way here, so it would be rude not to go and have a look at the seaside, wouldn't it? I reckon it's about a 10-minute walk down that way, so yeah, after that I'm going to get something to eat, so come with me, we'll go and have a look at the sea.
And I made it, quite late in the day, but I was here on the seafront at Whitley Bay. Not a great deal to do on a Sunday evening, to be honest, the tide was in, but I just took in the views for a minute, thinking about my day of travelling around the Tyne and Weir Metro, and just summing up the whole experience.
Right then guys, Whitley Bay, just come out here, and do you know what, you cannot beat the smell of the sea, can you? It's fantastic. I've had a great day today on the Metro. What did you think? Let me know in the comments below. One thing that I probably wouldn't do again is mess about with Northern Rail on the train and then out to Blaydon and then catching the bus back, because that took quite a lot of time. I just wanted to show you guys the different modes of transport and the options that you've got, but I wouldn't do that again, because I would have probably been better off spending some more time out here on the coast and probably down in Tyne as well, because it's 7:30 now, so it's been a real long day. But do you know what? I've really enjoyed it. £6.80 for a day road, but you cannot go wrong. It's an absolute bargain, that. And the trains themselves, I thought they were fantastic, especially being able to sit at the front and watch the train going along. Absolutely brilliant. I would definitely recommend it. Like I said, let me know what you thought in the comments below. Have you been on the Metro? Did I miss anything that you would have recommended? As always, guys, your comments are more than appreciated. Thank you very much, and until the next time, cheers for now.